Welcome to the 31st episode of the Broken Pictures podcast / YouTube show, where we talk about the top 3 things in pop culture you might have missed this week.
There could potentially be spoilers for your favorite TV shows, movies, video games, and or comics. You have been warned. This is
the FOMO Show. Hey nerds, this is Dylan.
And I'm Lydia.
This is Quin.
And we'd like to say thanks for joining us by YouTube or podcast. Hello to all of you new watchers out there, or if you're listening in the States and internationally, a special thank you to those of you who are returning to listen or watch the show. If you want to keep the conversation going or support the show, you can, of course, comment below, but you can also find that information in the episode notes or the website at www.broken.picturesno.com. Also, leave us voice messages or questions that we can play on the show. To do that, go to www.anchor.fm/the FOMO Show. YouTube viewers, please like and subscribe and hit the little bell icon
Ding.
for notifications when we put out new videos. Podcast listeners, please leave us 5 stars in your podcast app.
Boom.
Wonderful. Special notes? Anybody?
Yes, so lots of special notes this time because we're about to take a hiatus. We'll be off next week, but we will return on the 17th. And it'll be a whole new show. Hopefully, I mean, you know how these things go. You plan things and sometimes they don't work out the way you want. But that's the plan right now. We're coming back and we're going to be live Tuesday at 10 o'clock on the 17th. Will be our first live show. If all goes according to plan.
To plan?
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's just plan.
To plan. Whatever. As planned. To plan. So, you get to see all the quirky stuff like that where we call each other out. And you get lots of personality. It'll be fun. And just stay tuned and stay tuned to our social media, and I'll be advertising that over the next 2 weeks. And another reason why we chose like an odd number, this is the 31st show. Can you believe we've been doing this 31 times already? Like, it's insane. We're going to start episode 32 as a live show. But the reason we chose this is because somebody is having a baby.
Oh, yeah. I'm having a baby. Well, not
It
me.
ain't us.
Well, I'll be having a baby next Monday.
Yeah.
Monday.
If everything goes according to plan.
If everything goes according to planned. Because it was planned. Ish.
Yeah, these things, you just got to roll with it.
It's a baby.
She's gonna be a little baby girl, and she'll probably be strapped to my chest.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Special guest starring.
So, I mean, I'm down with that. Whatever you got to do, man.
I will literally hold that baby the entire show. She does not need to be strapped anywhere.
Yeah.
Need to be beauty.
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever watched the show, you know that like our dog shows up and his tail comes on the screen. We're very laid back and we're chill. I mean, we started this thing on our couch with the dog and the cat and pet hair.
Actually, if you want to get like technical, it started in the shower, but we decided not to film that. So we moved it to the couch.
That'd be a whole different thing.
It'd actually probably be better. No, I'm just
because
kidding.
we had these conversations. Yeah, it started with The Walking Dead, which is about to come back here soon. And, just having our talks of The Walking Dead, and you're just like, man, this is really fun. We should make this, we could do this on YouTube. Like, people do this all the time. Like, I've seen, we have better conversations than some of the people I've seen on YouTube. And then that spun into the FOMO Show, which Quin is a founding member of the FOMO Show, came in and helped us actually create what it is now. And we're 31 episodes in. And
Wow.
Another landmark next week. Next week we're off, don't forget. But
We have to.
on the 17th, as if all goes according to plan, we will be back live Tuesdays at 10 from then on YouTube, and maybe eventually on Facebook Live and all that as things progress. We'll see how it goes, but we're figuring this thing out, and we appreciate you guys taking the journey with us and going along for the ride. That's part of the fun. So, are you asking me a question?
No, I'm writing it down for later.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, That's it right now. Congrats to Quin and Shay. And
Nice.
also, Quin's birthday is this weekend. So
yeah, it
happy
is.
birthday, Quin.
Thank you. I'll be 26.
Woo.
Ooh.
Big 2-6, you're over the hill.
Wow.
Says me.
It'll be fun. I don't know what I'm doing for my birthday.
Yeah.
It'll be alright, I guess.
We'll figure something out.
Okay.
And also, we'd just like to wish Kevin Hart well, who was in a bad car accident this weekend. Not sure the extent of his quote-unquote major back injuries is what I read. But he was in the hospital. So I know his wife has made a statement, I think yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to check it out. So hopefully he's doing well. He's not in critical condition or anything like that, but it's progressing. So we'd just like to wish Kevin Hart well. I know you probably won't see this, but we're putting it out there.
And if you're one of those people who didn't realize it was too soon to start making memes about it, it definitely is too soon. There's been some memes already made about it. Like one was like, don't forget to strap the car seats in all the way, and like comments about his size. They're funny, but it's too soon. You can't be doing stuff like that.
It depends on how he's doing.
Maybe in a couple weeks, but like he's not. I mean,
when The Rock starts making jokes, that's when it's okay.
That's when you know that it's okay. But it wasn't him that made the jokes.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's a little difficult.
That's not. Y'all be sensitive. Don't be a troll. Hashtag don't be a troll. That's our official hashtag, by the way.
Is it really?
Yeah, I started that with The Last Jedi. Before I saw it, I was like, don't spoil it, don't be a troll. And then afterwards it was like, okay guys, I know you don't like it, don't be a troll. And I was one of those that didn't care for it. But I mean, you can not like something and not just
we're not gonna get on that today though.
Anyways, that's just you can go into back episodes and get the gist of that.
What other special notes do we have?
So I think that is it. Don't forget, Tuesdays at 10, starting on the 17th of September, we will be live. Bum, 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 bum. And then, depending on how things go, not long after that, the Broken Dead, our Walking Dead after show, will return.
Yeah.
We're still figuring that one out. We're working on the live one step at a time. So you just burped into the microphone.
I did, as a matter of fact.
That's why I love her, folks.
Baby step.
If you don't watch the video, I just made like a really weird face at that point.
What were you guys into this week? Let us know in the comments below. And when we start the live show, you can be commenting throughout the whole thing. And that's something else we got to figure out. But you can also, just like give us notes and not notes, don't give us notes, but write us comments and tell us, what you're into and what's going on, what you think about what we're talking about and all that fun stuff. It's going to be interactive and that's going to be fun, exciting going forward. So this week, we finished watching The Boys. And it was...
I think we actually finished watching it last Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Like we binged the rest of it.
Yeah, like the last 2 or 3 episodes or something like that.
We had 3 episodes left and we watched it.
Yeah, and I've already told you spoilers, or Quin's already told you spoilers. If you didn't hear him, spoilers. We're not going to spoil your fandoms on purpose, but we will talk about newsworthy items. And we're going to get into stuff. So, here we go. The Boys was amazing. I'd say don't miss it. Some of this, like towards the very end, there was like 1 or 2 things that was just like, it seemed like they were out of blue, like where they shot Starlight and then they acted like it didn't happen. It was like
it was at the end of the episode, and then the next episode picked up and acted like nothing happened. Yeah, it was a little confusing.
It's like, oh, is she bulletproof? It's like they didn't even address. It was like they just kind of glossed over that.
I don't know. I think all of them might be partially bulletproof, or their suits are.
It didn't seem like relevant. He was just having a conversation with her, and then Butcher walks up, shoots her, and he's like, "Come on!" And he runs off with Butcher.
Yeah, Like it didn't make sense story wise or character wise. It seemed just out of left
but we're
field.
just like really confused if we missed something.
No, she's bulletproof.
Yeah.
Was that all they were trying to establish? Is that she's bulletproof?
Yeah, it almost just seemed like, okay, we're coming up towards the end of the episode. We really need a cliffhanger, so let's shoot Starlight.
Yeah.
And then the next episode, we'll just pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But when you're binging it, it's like, what? So, yeah, that seemed just out of the blue.
But we're obviously excited to see next season because they left filming, you on a huge cliffhanger.
Yeah, that was not in the comics, as far as I could tell. I watched a bunch of reviews and stuff. The comics go a different direction.
Super different direction.
Yeah. Soup.
Oh my.
They're soups. I get it. Yeah.
How long have the comics been going on?
They've been almost close to, if not 10 years, a little bit longer. Maybe.
Oh wow! It's like still going, or they finished it?
I think they're done.
Oh, okay.
But it's they're old.
Okay, I saw where they started at DC, and then DC wasn't down with the graphic content, and so they ended up going to like Image or something like that.
When DC says it's too much.
Well, DC recently, or not recently, but they bought Vertigo, right? Mm-hmm. And so now that's kind of like where they're channeling the darker, more graphic stuff. So they're doing it. They're just keeping it kind of compartmentalized. It's kind of like Disney. Like they're keeping their brand, but they're putting this over here.
Yeah, it's under a different name.
Yeah. So. Which is smart.
Yeah.
We also watched Isn't It Romantic? We watched it last night with Rebel Wilson, Liam Hemsworth. Oh, what is that guy's name? I always forget it. Adam something.
Yeah, he's in Pitch Perfect. He had this show that was like his name, House Party, and it was so random. And I was just like, what in the world is this? It was like one of those late night like it harkened back to like late night MTV shows that were nothing weird.
Do y'all say that Divine or Devine?
I think Devine, maybe.
Adam Devine, like.
Adam Devine.
I'm sure he says
like
it's
Avril
Divine.
Lavigne. Probably. But Divine is like with an I, his is with an E. So Adam Devine
who's hilarious.
Yeah. He's from Pitch Perfect, multiple other things. He was in it.
Workaholics.
Yeah, Workaholics.
Oh, who and Dave need wedding dates?
Oh yeah, Frank and Dave or something crazy like that.
Was
it was
one.
Dave Franco and him, or James Franco. Which one was that?
Dave Franco, I think.
Anyway, he's in a lot of stuff. Hilarious. Really, really funny. So we watched that last night. I wouldn't rent it, but if it came on like something else, I would maybe record it and watch it. I didn't think it was just like super good, but it was pretty funny. It was pretty clean, pretty funny. Excuse me. It was definitely like PG-13. They only dropped one F-bomb.
Yeah, they saved it for a good moment too.
Yeah, it paid off.
Excuse me.
Overall, the movie made sense. I would watch it, but I wouldn't.
I say don't miss. I liked it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'd go out of my way to like seek it out and watch it. I would watch it when it came on.
But I mean,
definitely
that's a genre
solid
film.
Rom-com.
Yeah, for sure. As rom-coms go, I think it was fun.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Yeah, don't miss. Also, I do think it was a missed opportunity if you're doing a throwback to like kind of meta rom-coms and like making fun of your genre and everything. Like cast like people who have been stars of old rom-coms in the dream sequence or whatever. Like the doctor should have been somebody from like Grey's Anatomy or whatever. It's like recognizable people that people would know. That would just make it so much more fun.
Yeah, because in While You Were Sleeping, Peter Gallagher is the guy that's sleeping.
Right.
So when she wakes up, the spoiler, when she wakes up after getting hurt. Movie. No, the first time, like when she wakes up to get hurt, it pans in with like the cliche hospital lights, and then it goes to her. The doctor that walked in should have been Peter Gallagher, because it would have been really funny, because he could have been like, "Oh, while you were sleeping," and then like drop stuff. You know,
like that would have just taken
that?
To the next level, man.
Yeah, it would have been really funny.
It was good, but it was just like.
Like if Richard Gere had been the limo driver and they like featured that or something like that.
What old rom-com I mean, like, I don't think it would have been difficult to get these people on board with, like,
No.
hey, let's do some cameos, folks. Like, this would be great.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
if
so
you can
much
get
fun.
Bill Murray to do it in a crappy Ghostbusters, you can get anybody to do it. Sorry.
Surely, like, all you got to do is just get Julia Roberts in on it. Like, if she would have been just like the nurse, just like insignificant little roles, or even,
if
you know,
she had like so another spoiler. I'm sorry if I know you haven't seen it. Like, if you you saw it?
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
So the part where she's walking out of the hospital in the Pretty Woman outfit, if Julia Roberts had just like walked by, or she had popped into a shop and been like, big mistake, it would have been amazing.
yeah, like with the dogs or something.
Yeah, even something like that. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't have to do a lot. What is Hugh Grant doing these days? Not diddly freaking squat. You could have got him,
That's what he's
okay?
doing.
You could have got him to do something.
Yeah, not that Paddington 2 was bad. It was pretty good.
No, but I mean,
But yeah, I mean, like the dude on the bike with the stereo on the front of his bike, had that been her playing like Pretty Woman,
or had that been Terry Crews?
Yeah,
like,
oh,
you were
yeah.
talking about
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
white chicks. Yeah, it just would have escalated so much more.
And I think Rebel Wilson and what's his name, Adam Devine, could have like been like, hey, getting on the phone, like, hey, come on, guys, like,
Let's do this.
Yeah.
that would have been perfect. Like,
I mean, even
would've
Liam
been
Hemsworth,
epic.
those are all like pretty. They're definitely not like D characters. They're closer to like B actors.
For
and
sure.
So you could have got some A actors in there along with you.
Definitely. And this is just like a what do they call it? Oh shoot.
Don't know.
Like a head
Cannon?
headcanon thing. Liam Hemsworth playing the saxophone at the end. Him and his brother are the same characters from Ghostbusters.
That would have been
So.
fun.
Yeah, that should be like the Hemsworth verse, where they're basically playing each other in their movies. Because you can't tell the difference between them. There's like one. He's basically just a younger version of his brother. It's like this. I mean, the
Someone
same
who
mannerisms,
has a
the same
sibling
comedy.
who looks a lot like me and gets told a lot. I'm not about that. Not
Depends on
about
their
it.
relationship.
No,
Not that you and
I
your
love
sister
my
don't.
sister.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong.
Not that
but
you
like,
don't, but
we don't see it. So I'm sure Liam and Chris don't see it.
But I'm just, it's like a twin thing, like twins, like, playing each other and like pretending to be each other. Like, yeah.
But you said nobody can tell the difference. We can tell the difference.
Yeah, you
So
can tell.
going
that,
to
but
y'all's
it's-
wedding.
Okay.
We were walking. We were all like me, Shay, Andrew, and Nicole. We were walking up, and then your sister came up, and she was in her bridesmaid's dress. It's like, oh hey, Lydia, wait, you look like Lydia, but something's off. I don't know what it is. And it was like, no, it was your sister. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
We get that a lot.
Yeah, it's funny.
We also started watching The Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance on Sunday. We binged like 4 or 5 episodes of that.
Yeah, 4. I think we got 4, and the kids just couldn't take it anymore. Lydia fell asleep.
Not due to low quality, due to pure exhaustion.
Yeah, I think like it's one of those movies you have to go in knowing what it is, because like I know I went in and I was slightly disappointed, not because it was bad or anything. It was just because like that The Dark Crystal is like one of my like all-time favorites. Like it's just like up there. It's on a pedestal. Like you can't touch it. But I understand that it's not like an Oscar-worthy type. I mean, it's got quirkiness. Like you can tell they're puppets. Like it's like
You
Princess
can tell
Bride.
there's people inside the puppets.
Yeah, it's like Princess Bride. It's like
Yeah.
you can. It's like purposely. It's like you know what it is. You accept it for what it is, and then you go in. You know, oh, this is great. You know, for what it is. And there's a lot of movies like that. But going into this one, I had so much expectation built up. It's almost like they had to break through that before. And then episode 4 started to get into like really like they built the world for like 3-4 episodes. And then they started to get into like the actual thing. And so it was just like, oh,
But I think they're also trying to target people who maybe didn't watch the movie.
true.
And they're not trying to only target past viewers. They're trying to target a new audience as well.
Yeah, that's true. And my kids, like, they love The Dark Crystal too. They grew up watching that. But But my daughter Maeve pointed something out that she may be correct on. At first, I was kind of like, oh, just let it play out. We'll see. But she might be right. The story is slightly different from the movie. Like, they changed some stuff. And I hate when they do this. I hate when people do this. They change stuff in order to merit a new story. It's like, you can't change. Like, if you're going to add a story, it needs to be consistent, right? But like the story from the original movie, remember at the end where the Skeksis and the elders or whatever became one and they became these big white beings or whatever. In the original story, from what I understand, those are the beings that came to Thra. And then something, they got corrupted and then they split, right?
When the crystal split, that split them.
Right. But in this one, the crystal isn't split yet, but the Skeksis are the ones that came.
And then they're corrupting the crystal.
Yeah.
And they're already separated and everything. So it's kind of like, okay, is it just that's the story the Skeksis are telling, or is that actually, and it's going to come out later?
Well, I mean,
you know what I mean?
So with that, this is gonna get into a whole thing, but so with a lot of like past movies that have like timelines that go along a long time, and even like in stuff today, like history is kind of written by the victors, and like the Skeksis they won for a while, so they can tell it how they want to tell it, and that's just what we know.
And that's what I was worried about, or not what I was worried about, but like my first thought going in was that. But it seems like almost like they're still going with it. But it might reveal.
It's also a little confusing because the crystal, we see the crystal multiple times and it doesn't look damaged.
Yeah, that's right.
And even
so that is an inconsistency.
What's her face goes and looks, not Magra.
Not Agra.
Agra. Yeah, wait, it is Agra because the other one is called the Almalthra, right? Almagra. Anyway, old lady with the eye, she goes and sees the crystal and is talking to the crystal or whatever. And she doesn't mention that it's like broken. And so it doesn't seem like the crystal is split. Yeah.
And it just starts to, like, it's become dark because of their corruption and stuff. But they just found out that they could drain the essence. And that's what starts cracking. You can see the crystal start to crack and stuff. So it's like the crystal definitely doesn't have a shard yet. So it's like, I'm not sure how it fits together just yet. But I mean, we haven't finished the season yet, so.
They might patch it together.
Yep.
Because it breaks it. What have you into?
This bag of dice.
D&D.
Dungeons and Dragons stuff. Trying to stay ahead. I mean, I'll get a whole week to catch up, so. Tonight's gonna be fun. I'm gonna try and kill you guys.
Oh, like you don't every week?
I don't. I really don't.
It's like every week. He's like, I'm so sorry.
I say it at least once, and all you're.
We roll
so
a one.
Sorry.
He's like, I'm sorry. Oh, another thing we watched was Avengers Endgame. I've been pushing for that one because I wanted to watch it again, and I think it was as good the second time.
Yeah.
There's definitely some things that I didn't catch the first round, but pretty good.
Again,
right,
yep.
That's it. So the number one movie of the week is still Angel Has Fallen. Yeah. I was like, wait, what? Yeah. Because it's fallen again.
It's still falling.
The critic score for it has gone up a little bit. The audience score still stays the same. So... Second week in a row? Yeah, second week in a row. Number one movie's rated R movie because it's going to stay there until it comes. And then it's going to take it out.
Speaking of, I need to watch not the original, but this
the last one?
Yeah, the last one. I need to watch it because I haven't watched it. They watched it, but I didn't. You want an apple? No, thank you. It's good.
Enchanted. We do that all the time.
I have to. Every time it's like this impulse. It's like when somebody else yawns or you talk about yawning, like you can't control it. You just have to.
Yeah. I almost watched Angel, the first one, because it's on Netflix. Like I was this close.
Olympus Has Fallen?
Mm-hmm.
When?
There was something else I stayed up and watched. Limitless. That night, remember I was like, I'm going to stay up and watch a movie. I watched Limitless. and I had never seen it before, but that was like
movie.
Yeah, there was one. There was like one that I'd always wanted to see, and I just never did it because it was like, and I knew the series was out, and the series just looked like a,
The series was not what the movie was.
I watched the first episode of the series, and I was like, okay, it's like obviously not. I mean, I like that Bradley Cooper was involved in the series, but it still, I think it changed the canon to make the series possible. So it was like, But I did like the movie. I liked it more than I expected. It was fun.
Cool. Yeah.
It was one of those that got my gears grinding. It was like, what? Okay. Oh, yeah, what? Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right. The top 3 in pop culture this week that you may have missed.
Or not, but even still, we're going to talk about it.
Don't miss it.
I guarantee you didn't miss this because it's been all over Twitter. It has been everywhere. Alyson Stoner reuniting with Missy Elliott at the VMAs when...
Even though it was last week, it is still relevant, so...
Yeah, because it's still everywhere. Not a lot of people noticed at the time that it was Alyson Stoner because you can see her major haircut, different look for her. We've never seen her with short hair like that.
Looking like Kill Bill, the bride.
Why don't you not insult her jumpsuits
I'm
and
not
leave her alone?
That's a great compliment. Like the bride is like a badass, like big time.
Yeah. Like
that's a huge
people in a room.
That's a compliment for who? Murderers, but not people who dance.
Pop culture.
Whatever.
Bruce Lee. She's dressed like Bruce Lee. The bride was dressed like Bruce Lee too. So.
Well, that's Alyson Stoner's look. And so I love it. She looked awesome. So Missy Elliott was accepting the MJ Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award, which is a mouthful. So that was really cool. Alyson Stoner, you might remember her from, she was like 9 or 10 when she played in the original Work It music video.
They shot it when, from what I was seeing, they shot it when she was 8 and she was 9 when she first, like it aired or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. So she was super young, but she's kind of been out of the limelight for a while. And so she's been doing her own thing. She just hasn't been in the limelight. Mm-hmm. I mean, she didn't go away or anything like that.
In her circle, she's still legit. I saw her, she was like on a, like to me, she kind of went away and I thought, well, maybe she went to school and she came back or whatever. Because when you mentioned her, I was like, oh, that's Disney Channel chick.
Yeah,
know?
She's from Cheaper by the Dozen, Disney Channel. Yeah. She was in Step Up.
Yeah, Target commercials, like dancing all over the place. Like,
yeah.
What were you gonna say? That wasn't your point.
Oh, she was on like an episode of like Young Hollywood or something. She's been doing. She built up her YouTube channel, kind of like a Justin Bieber type thing, and she's also a singer. I didn't realize. She said she's been writing her own songs since she was like 8.
Yeah.
Like.
So that actually gets into my next point. The haircut that she has is actually featured in her song, Stripped Bare, which is essentially her cutting ties with her family for all the issues she had as a child star and things like that. So she kind of went away just for a little while because she suffered from some severe anxiety disorders and some other things that were just left alone. Sorry, that was me. Her parents really didn't acknowledge, and she said she was treated like a pack mule to carry her family, and all of these things. So she kind of went away for a while. So you see her in the actual official music video shaving her head, which is really cool. So she hasn't necessarily gone away. She's still been in music videos. She's still been making her own music, and things like that. But she about a year ago came out. She released a song called Fool. Which is her essentially coming out to the world. And she actually wrote an article to Teen Vogue that was published saying that she, I got the quote right here, is attracted to men, women, and those who do not define themselves. So she's not labeling herself as gay, bisexual, or anything like that. But she has mentioned that like her family was unsupportive and different things like that. And so she was really struggling.
Faith-based background.
Yeah. And so she's just been really struggling with that. So it was a huge moment for her to come out on stage and dance at the VMAs with Missy Elliott and kind of have that reunion. But also her song Stripped Bare didn't release that long ago, and so it's received a lot of attention on YouTube since she premiered at the VMAs, and so really, really cool for Alyson Stoner. Really big deal. She even said in the song Stripped Bare, you think it's a sad song, but it's an anthem. So that's really cool that she is speaking out and speaking her mind and making it known that she's about herself, you know?
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Empowering.
Yeah.
Especially
cool.
for people who have been through trauma and manipulation and things like that. It's very empowering.
Yeah.
It is.
And super cool. I really liked how the video shows her shaving her head, but it's not like a Britney crazed moment it is full on like, this is me, this is all you get kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like a moving forward landmark type thing.
Yeah. She even mentioned something along those lines of like, I'm stripped bare, but that leaves a promising future or something along those lines. So just a really, really cool moment for Missy Elliott to know everything that she's been through, support her, and bring her out to dance at the VMAs.
And Missy Elliott killed it at the VMAs. I watched that performance. Amazing.
Killed it, but can we talk about it was a little bit weird? She came out in like an inflated trash suit.
Yeah, but that's Missy Elliott. I mean,
is it though? Because Missy Elliott has never dressed up as an alien that I remember.
Yeah, like when I first saw the scarecrows and the cornfields, I was like, wow, this is like borderline some racial stuff, but then I realized it was like a UFO and aliens and like dude floating up in the air, and I was like, oh, this is weird. Yeah. Kind of dig it.
But she also had those like it's a type of dance and like thing that you do, but they're like pulling their joints out and doing these weird arm things. Like that was yeah. It was weird. She's unapologetically herself. She's Missy Elliott. What does she have to apologize for?
She just, before you come over, let her know she could shave her. Flip it and reverse it.
All right.
Anything else on that? I could not give Missy Elliott a shout out with Alyson Stoner. So that's a cool like connection though, like because she was talking about like I saw a TMZ video that was like the next morning they were interviewing Alyson Stoner, and they were like, hey, how much do you think this helped your career? And like it was almost like she didn't want to say that her career was tied to someone else's because she really did a lot on her own too, but she can't deny the fact that, Missy Elliott is a huge legend, and she was just talking about, just like the warmth of her hugs and everything. She was just like really supportive and amazing. So that was really cool. What?
This is gonna make me cry.
Oh. Ooh, all right, we're gonna move on. Number 2 is the Joker. I had to pull out my Batman shirt.
Realize what shirt y'all wearing. What? Okay, we can start coordinating.
She went more like.
I did this first.
Oh.
So I don't know about him.
She had it planned first. I didn't know she was gonna wear a Batman shirt.
I cut the sleeves off.
Yeah, she did.
Everything.
It's actually my old Batman shirt, which is really cool because she repurposed it and made it her own.
And cooler. Because all the armpits were like blown out. I was like, how am I supposed to wear this?
This one's still good.
What am I going to do with it?
So yeah, the Joker.
Yes, there's so much to get into this, man.
There is.
So this is Joaquin Phoenix.
Mm-hmm. They just recently dropped their second trailer, which I don't think they needed because the first one was a masterpiece.
Wait, surely y'all know who Joaquin Phoenix is. Joaquin Phoenix had Walk the Line.
Yeah.
Her, a bunch of other stuff. So just to put a face with the name. Keep going. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
It also comes from director Todd Phillips.
Yes.
Yes. And he does, I feel like we've talked about him before.
He did, I want to say he did a comedy before this. I cannot remember what it was. Which is one reason why, like when the trailer came out, the first trailer, it was it made such waves.
He did Due Date.
Yeah.
With Zach Galifianakis and RDJ.
Which was a good one. I love that one.
Old School, The Hangover.
What? The original one?
Yeah, The Hangover and The Hangover Part 3. A Star is Born, War Dogs, Limitless.
Oh, he got
Project X, Due Date. Oh, we already said that. School for Scoundrels. He's done a lot.
He's done a lot.
Yeah. I mean, like, one of the things that sells me on a film, especially one that I'm not sure of, is the tone. And the first trailer nailed the tone. And I mean, it's just like, I could just watch the trailer. I don't even have to see the movie. And which kind of goes into what we're going to talk about. Like right now, it is killing it in the critics sphere and reviews and everything.
And things like that.
Yeah, not everybody likes it.
No. I read one thing, dude said this is an actual piece of trash. I don't know why I saw this.
Wow.
I was like, wow.
Yeah. It seemed like, from what I was seeing, like, I watched the John Campea show and he was talking about it. Oops, sorry. And they were saying that, like, I haven't read like all these reviews or whatever, but from what they were saying secondhand, it seems like most of them were being contrary just to be contrary, because it was like, because anytime you put something on a pedestal, there's always going to be somebody trying to knock it off.
It's like, why is that up there? I'm gonna knock it over.
Yeah, you know, like some.
And
men
there are
just wanna
people
watch the
who are
world burn.
salty that are even another Joker is getting made because of The Dark Knight and his
Ledger.
performance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there are people who are just salty about that, so they're going to attack everything.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and those people are salty is because, like, apparently Joaquin Phoenix is not, like, almost Oscar, or if probably is going to be Oscar worthy, but is the fact that for so long people have had Heath Ledger's Joker up there on a pedestal. We're using pedestals is the thing today, and they feel like it shouldn't be touched, mostly because he's not here anymore, but also because
like it's disrespectful to his memory.
Which I can understand that. We were all up in arms when Will Smith was playing the genie, because Robin Williams didn't pass away that long ago. You know, I mean, it's been 6 years,
That's
not
true.
6 years, but 5 years. But I mean, still, like,
it's been 5 years.
Yeah, didn't we talk about that when Robin Williams passed? I mean, a couple episodes ago when we talked about that. I think he had his 5 year
Is it 5?
death anniversary. We talked about that, right? That was a thing.
I don't remember.
I feel like it was last year.
Maybe it was a year ago.
Like 2 years ago, maybe.
No, I don't know. I'm going to Google it. But I mean, I can understand where they're coming from, because I felt the same.
Yeah, except that there hasn't, like, there's one genie. Like, there's several iterations of the Joker. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm messed up in the head right now. Feel like my life's just...
I mean, he died in 2014.
Oh, what on earth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 years.
Okay. But yeah, there's several iterations of the Joker. And the Joker comes in many different forms. It's because the Joker's such an old character. But, like, this Joker seems like he has the attitude, like the style of, like, the Joker in the past, like a Joker that could go up there and just fight Adam West and be like the whole time. But he has the attitude and the mindset of, like, more current Jokers that are kind of like, they're not really chaotic, but more just like, yeah, I'm doing this and there's nothing you can do to stop me because I'm an evil genius.
Yeah, it's very almost timeless, because it's like, because it takes place in a time set that feels 80s or 70s ish, definitely throwback, but it's not, it's kind of out of time on its own. You know, it's not just like a definite.
Yeah, because it's undefined.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
so
there
it feels
are
like it's
features of
timeless.
all of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what, like, is this a sequel to something? Is this like a standalone? What is this?
Yeah. So in the DCEU, this is not part of the, you know, Batman versus Superman universe.
This is canon universe.
This is not connected to Jared Leto Joker or anything. It's a standalone.
Jared Leto?
Leto, sorry. They even threw some shade, like, his way a little bit. But I mean, right now, like, okay, so it premiered at the Venice Film Festival this weekend. this past weekend, and it got an 8-minute standing ovation. Like, that is insane. And almost like IGN gave it like a 10 out of 10 or something, and just about everybody is just giving it like top marks across the board, except for. But back to what I was saying about the John Campea show, they said most of these people who are giving it bad reviews, there's not really any context to what they're saying. Either they're trying to knock it down because it's a superhero film, or it's this or it's that. And it's like, oh, if you take away the social commentary, it's like, well, you can't really take away. It's like if you like John Campea was saying, well, you can't really watch a comedy and say, well, if you take away the comedy, it wasn't a good movie. Well, of course.
Take away the comedy. It's the Joker.
Yeah, I mean, like the movie is a social commentary, and it is this, and it is this. So you can't really take those elements away, you know. But they all seem to agree that I think Time Magazine was really one of the big ones. Like a lot of big ones actually had negative reviews, like Roger Ebert. Time Magazine was one of the big ones that actually had like legitimate things to say. I think they said that it seemed more of a series of events rather than a good plot through line. You know, like it was kind of like happening. But that might be part of the narrative as an unreliable narrator, you know. So that, you know, I still have to see it. And then of course there's always the people, or not always, but there are people, you know, oh, just go ahead and give him the Oscar already. Well, we've only seen the trailers, so calm down, you know. Let's see. So I just wanted to say also that, like, if people are critical because it is a superhero or a comic book film, like, remember that the Joker character itself has its roots in film. Mm-hmm. Like, let's see, it's originally was inspired by the German expressionist film The Man Who Laughs, and you can probably find that on YouTube or something. It's so old, it's probably in the public.
Just go
by
type
now.
It in, Man Who Laughs, and I'll bring it up.
Yeah, so I mean the face and his look and all that, you know, and so I mean it's got a lot of Oscar buzz already.
Which is why I really like the fact that they didn't go with because like his face paint is basically the exact same face paint in The Man Who Laughs, but like I'm happy they didn't go like really crazy with it, like how Heath Ledger's Joker had the scars and he had the paint to cover up the scars, and Jared Leto's tattoo and Jack Nicholson was just dish the whole time. Yeah, like it's just regular face paint. Like it made smear or whatever because of sweat, but at the same time, you see that dude walking down the street in a bright red suit, I'll be like, okay, so he's about to kill everybody here. I'm gonna go take this train and just leave town.
Have y'all seen those memes of him putting on the makeup from the trailer, and it's like me when I go out boot and rally or something like that. It's like me at 3 a.m. telling my friends I can have another shot. It's pretty funny memes around it because it is just makeup. Yeah. You know, that's what it boils down to.
Yeah. And go ahead.
You go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, say he does go get an Oscar nomination and wins the Oscar for Best Actor. The only two comic book films to ever win Best Actor will be for the portrayal of the Joker.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cause the Joker's probably the best character in like comic. He's one of the best characters like to use in any kind of writing, just because he is so much like he knows he's in a comic book. He knows he's just a fictional character, which is why he does the things that he does. But he also knows
nihilistic bastard.
He also doesn't like know if he is actually the Joker. He feel like there's in current like DC comics there are 3 Jokers that have 3 different histories, and Batman still doesn't know what to do with that information.
And that's why it's so fun to explore, because he's a character that's shrouded in mystery, and even though we've seen backstories for this character, like it's still like, oh, that might not be it. So it's just like, oh, okay, well, let's see another one. You know?
To be up there. I remember the one time I blew up this building. Wait, was that me? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like all these can live cohesively in the same universe. So another criticism is that it is kind of propping up the Joker as an idol for people who might see,
like with everything going on in the world today.
Yeah, with mass shootings and and murderers and stuff like that. Go ahead.
You go ahead. I'll wait. I can wait for my hand to be up.
But the way I see it is like this is a character study, and it is rooted in one of its inspirations is The King of Comedy, which is a Scorsese film. So much so that like it's rooted in it so much so that Robert De Niro is not the same character, but he's a character from The King of Comedy that he was in originally. And I mean, it's like such a huge nod to that movie. It's got such deep roots in it. Go ahead.
Okay, now 2 things. Originally, when they first, like, before the movie started getting made and everything, years ago, when it was like announced that it was going to happen, Scorsese was supposed to be the one to do it.
Yes, and they wanted De Niro for the Joker, or not De Niro, but DiCaprio.
DiCaprio, yeah. So I mean, that part makes sense. Like they still got Robert De Niro to come in and do all that.
Yeah, and he's still a producer.
Oh, so yeah, okay. The movie makes complete sense now. The second thing, the Batman and the Joker are equals and opposites. And like one thing Batman like always famously says right before he decides, I don't want to be Batman, or Bruce Wayne decides, I don't want to be Batman anymore, is that Batman is a symbol. It doesn't matter who's under the cowl, just as long as there's a Batman, the world's okay. And the Joker is the opposite of that. It's like, I'm a symbol, but not a symbol for order or structure. I'm a symbol for chaos and destruction. And anyone can be the Joker. You just have to have a laugh, or you just had to have one really bad day,
or childhood trauma,
Yeah, and I mean that's what's so. I mean, the whole criticism that it's just a comic book is BS, because if it's just a medium to explore story, right? And the Batman Joker dynamic is such a rich character study for both how similar and how different they are. And there's such a thin line between them. It's like the only difference between the Batman and the Joker's one bad day, right? Yeah, I mean, that is the thing. So to say, I mean, I get the criticism. I get that. You don't want to hold people up as like, here's an idol for these people. Like I totally get that. But this is a character study. And if you go and you look at Scorsese films, the like extreme violence, graphic nature, sexual things, racist things, drug things, like, I mean, because it's a study it's studying the disease to get at a cure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's in line with the Greek tragedies like Oedipus Rex, where you go in and you study the tragedy, and it's got a moral lesson to it, you know, to where to me, this is classic film. This is classic theater. This is the roots. I mean, to me, to say, oh, it's just a cartoon, it's just a comic book, that just blows my mind. It's like you're limiting art to, you know what I mean? Because this is actually the root of the entire of the entire genre, you know, or not just genre, but the entire film medium, you know, has its roots in theater and Greek tragedy, and Oedipus Rex is one of the greatest, you know, tragedies out there. And to me, this is, I mean, even going back to, I mean, like you talking about parables with Jesus. I mean, it's like, you know, like, yeah, there's a moral through line and a moral lesson. And I'm not talking about like scaring people straight or anything like that, but character studies is like, okay, this is where that comes from. And we as a society can benefit by looking at, okay, how was this type of person created, and how can we change that way we don't pop out people like this, you know?
Yeah. Understand the problem before you can fix it.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah. That's my soapbox on it. It's like, I love like Goodfellas, Mean Streets, like Godfather, like all these character studies. Like I mean, I'm not trying to study to become a crime lord or anything like that, but I do like the rise and the fall. You know what I mean?
I think people thinking that things like movies can create someone to do those things is where we get into the wrong thought of it. Is like, no, it's not fair to say that movies or video games or books or art or whatever else created somebody. They didn't.
Exactly.
Society did.
Mm-hmm.
Society or their raising or whatever you want to say. Whether you think that it's based in
it's easy.
Nurture versus nature or something like that. Nature and nurture are not the video games and the movies that they watch. It's just not. It's your moral compass. It's what your the village that raises you tell you what is right and what is wrong. Because I can watch The Joker, know that it's a movie, and understand that he's a villain because I was raised that way. But you can't sit somebody else down and say that a movie prompted them to take action and do something that's wrong. No, they always thought it was right. They didn't understand what was wrong about it, and you didn't teach them and show them that it was wrong. Mm-hmm. That's the wrong part of it. Yeah. So I don't think it's fair that they're not putting music in a box. Nobody ever says music made somebody do something.
Yeah, well, they back when you go to gangster rap and stuff like that, people still say that, rap music, makes people shoot up each other and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, well, people do say, I guess, but either way, you're limiting a movie based on what other people do. That's not fair.
Yeah, and to point the finger and give a blanket response is refusing to change. It's refusing to admit and deal with the issues is what it is. When people are trying to say, okay, let's find out, let's get at it, let's figure it out. That's like, I mean, I don't know. It just goes back to like cave people. And it's like, don't go outside. It's dangerous out there. It's like, you've got to explore. They don't ever
blame it on the shows that are making a murderer or Snapped or all of the shows that come on regular TV. Those come on cable. Okay. Yeah. You never talk about those and people having access to those.
Yeah. I mean, even scientists like Marie Curie, who basically radiated herself because she didn't understand, but she came to understand radiation, which is why today we know about radiation. Before that, we didn't know. And she put herself out there and discovered because she was willing to explore, willing to make mistakes, willing to figure it out. And get her hands dirty. And that is the thing right now. There's just like nobody wants to get their hands dirty. They just want the easy blame game, and that's dangerous.
Yeah. Can't wait to lie by
social commentary on the FOMO show today.
Just real quick. So I was reading a article by Forbes? Is that Forbes. Okay.
Sorry.
Right, I'm sorry.
I read it before you said it.
One of the most established newspapers out there.
Yeah.
Magazines, rather.
Forbes. And part of the article was just kind of talking about what was wrong with the Joker showed what was wrong with the DCEU. And it was basically the fact that they're trying to play ball with Marvel and like how they already have 23 established films and DC's trying to be that when they should just really be more like the Joker and they will be fine because they can do it and it's what they are known for in a lot of comic books. So why don't they do what they're known for instead of trying to be Iron Batman?
Yeah, I think that a lot of people get into a rut with that where thinking there's only one way to do it. It's like there's other ways. Find what works for you and even create your own path sometimes,
But you can't deny the fact that they're trying to do what makes money.
Yeah.
And
true.
Marvel has coined what makes money.
Yeah.
And so they have to, in a certain way, go that direction or people aren't going to pay for it. Mm-hmm. So, they're kind of, it's a catch-22.
Yeah. But, there's a valid argument out right now that the Joker could even change the game and make Marvel go, maybe we should do one-offs,
Maybe we should just start cutting heads off.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah, because everybody wants that Oscar acclaim. And but this is what I love about stories and movies, and like this is what made me want to go into this industry and tell stories and Because, I mean, even you go back to cave people and cave paintings, like we've been telling stories, and art is like one of the things that enriches our lives as people and humans. And
that's what separates us.
Yeah, exactly. So like this is the magic. That's what I love about it. It's like telling a story in a way that's relevant and changes us. And right now it's like, there certain people think, oh, that's just entertainment. It's like, you can't, what I mean? Yeah, there's certain things that just are just for entertainment, but
sometimes like they make it look easy, but it's not.
Yeah, but there are definitely stories. Think about your growing up. Like there are stories that change you, even if it was just something somebody told to you, like a parable, or you know what I mean. It was a story. That was one of the ways even Jesus Christ used stories and parables to set up his ministry and explain things to people in a common way. Like it just is. That's how things work, and that's amazing.
And even if it is only for entertainment, so what?
Yeah.
What does it hurt? Doesn't hurt a single thing. Gives people enjoyment. And even if it gives one person, even if that's the person who created it, enjoyment, then it was worth it. And you're not able to judge that. That's not for you to decide.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes we wear stretchy pants. It's for fun.
Okay.
Y'all got anything else on the Joker?
I'm satisfied.
I think that this is going to be one that you don't want to miss either way. Even if you don't support it, it's going to be one that you don't want to miss.
Yeah, I'm going to go see it. I won't be working. Y'all going to go see it.
Request off.
I'll be out for 6 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
So,
wait, does it come out that soon?
Like October 4th, I'll still be off.
Is it getting a theater release or just Netflix?
Yeah.
It is getting a theater
No,
release?
it's not Netflix.
No.
Oh, it's a movie. Duh. I forgot.
Well, I mean, Netflix does theater releases
Yeah, they
too.
do.
But I forgot that it's a movie.
Yeah.
Netflix says so much. I keep forgetting like what is coming out on Netflix only and what's a movie.
Oh, one thing we didn't get into with was the Joker laugh, and that was like one of the things that he had the part. Like Todd Phillips was like, "Hey, dude, you got the part," but he was like, "Okay, if I can't do the laugh like authentically and in front of people, then I don't need to do this." Like he was like serious about not wanting to do it if he couldn't pull it off. And so he had Todd Phillips come to his, like he said he had known about it and had been like studying it for 2 weeks, had Todd Phillips come and audition him for his laugh. And he said, "Don't do that, bro. Don't do that."
Don't do that.
He's like, you got the part though, right?
Like it was bad?
No, it was freaking creepy.
Oh, okay.
And he said even because this is an origin story, he said there's a progression of the laugh. And at first, like he studied people who have like compulsive laughing disorders and things like that, where it's painful for them to laugh. And he said like at first it's like it's painful and it's the Joker emerging from him. Like there's like the character study is legit. Like I love this. And so then, Joaquin Phoenix is one of the greats.
By the end of it, he's just cackling it up.
Mm-hmm.
Earth, fire, air, wind. These are the 4 elements that make up I forget how the thing goes.
Oh, you're doing so good.
Yeah, I forget the rest. Like that's where I get over. But
go to the Fire Nation.
So, Avatar. If for all those who remember Avatar, the cartoon from Nickelodeon all the years ago,
2005.
Oh my God! Why do you keep saying years? The classic cartoon is coming back, but in a live-action TV adaptation. It's kind of TV because it's Netflix, so technically it's streamed, but that's a whole nother thing. But the creators of the original show are going to be the showrunners. I cannot pronounce their names.
Michael DiMartino and Brian Konietzko.
Those guys are going to be the showrunners for what is hopefully to be not M. Night Shyamalan's film. So, what have y'all seen on it?
Oh my gosh.
Okay. All right.
I'm not normally into this stuff. I did not watch the original Avatar as much as I now think that I should have. But I saw how one of like the assistants or someone on who was like working on set filmed a bunch of stuff and put it out there and has now since been let go. And they're like, hey,
Yeah, they
you
did some
definitely
test
shouldn't have
shots.
done
Yeah.
this. And
But
so he
thanks
doesn't
for
work in
doing it,
film
though.
anymore. Literally, I was watching Emergency, what is it called?
Emergency Awesome.
Yeah, Emergency Awesome, a video that they
Shout
put
out.
out about it. And
yeah.
he was like, rip to this guy's career. I was like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But we're excited that you did it. So apparently, like, they call it digital environment replacement, which is like what Star Wars does, because obviously they can't go to other planets and film. You like tilted your head like,
I was like,
well, maybe they could.
For example, like when they did what was the
Indoor.
what was the Matt Damon movie with Mars, the Martian? So they filmed it in like a desert, and then they just put like a red grate on it, right?
Right. So that's kind of like what Star Wars
So
does
yeah,
and
you can
different
do
things
some
like that.
stand-ins.
Yeah.
But apparently they were at like this place where they were doing some of that. It's going to be part of the digital replacement thing, and it's supposed to be the fire dude's tower.
Ozai.
Him?
Fire Lord Ozai's tower?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes. It's supposed to
Who
be like
was
his
Mark
tower. or
Hamill,
something.
by the way?
Right?
Oh.
Can we talk about that for a second? So that's all I've really seen about it. I watched the timeline on a video because I really didn't know that much about it, and it basically told me what the entire series was about, which is kind of cool because I didn't watch it, and if I did watch it, I didn't get it, and so now I get it, and it's kind of cool. I'm kind of excited about it.
I watched it when it originally came out. Then years later, when it was on Netflix, I watched it like as an adult, and I was like, "Yeah, this is my favorite show ever." I don't know why.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of the greatest cartoons ever.
Yeah,
Cartoon series.
and the fact that
Your face.
so I never saw the Avatar movie. Like I was excited when it came. When I
Which
heard
one?
The one that M. Night Shyamalan did.
The only
The blue one? Avatar
Oh,
where they're blue?
no. The Last Airbender.
Okay, that's why I was confused. I was like, there is two.
They actually came out like close to each other,
Right.
which is why they called it The Last Airbender, so it
Yeah.
wouldn't be confused with Avatar.
Which people like me are still confused
Right.
because we didn't see the Last Airbender movie. We saw the Avatar movie.
Don't
So,
see it from what I hear.
the Last
don't-
Airbender?
Yeah.
I've only seen trailers, and all I've ever watched this movie is trailers. And one trailer I saw, like they were on I forget what the lizard things are called. They were basically horse lizards. That's what they are. And the guys, they were Fire Nation. They had like buckets of fire or hot coals on the side, and they went. And I was like, why'd you do all that to make fire, to make the fire just jump out and land at somebody's feet? And I like, ugh.
Yeah, it was too much.
Bad. Like the one thing the show creators, I remember watching an interview on Nickelodeon when I was a kid. One thing that they said they really wanted to incorporate in the show when they were creating it was the martial arts styles, because the martial arts styles were each unique, and that's why the Benders were able to do what they were able to do besides bloodlines and all that.
So I did.
But, yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm getting excited.
That's okay. But and so what M. Night Shyamalan did in his movie, like he had the martial arts, but they had to do a whole 6-step thing before just to make a rock float. They couldn't just lift their hand and like it fires on their hands now or anything. It was just
So it was like a Doctor Strange moves thing to get it to do something.
Yep.
Okay.
But
And
it was.
w-
Go ahead.
One of the greatest things about the show is that they put so much care and thought into it. And I was watching interviews on it too last night, and they actually started the creation process in 2001 and put out the first teaser like a year before the show aired in 2005. So like they took several years, half a decade to get this thing where they wanted it, because it's a lot of legend and lore and built in, and these crazy amalgamations of animals and
Turtle.
yeah, which are amazing. And but one of the things that makes it so believable, that even as a low budget cartoon at the time, was that they brought on a martial arts expert to give each nation their own style, and they legit took this person and he demonstrated the styles, and they filmed it, and and then they drew what he did, But in M. Night, it just didn't translate, and he didn't take the care. He just threw it together.
But
and they even threw some shade about that.
They're doing the same thing as the original for this series. Like, they called another guy in to do the same thing.
Well, as far as I know, he hasn't been announced as. I know they've brought a lot of the same people back, but a lot of the same people they used on the first one they brought back for Korra, and then a lot of the same people also worked on the Dragon Prince, which is on Netflix.
Yes, that was. Thank you. I forgot all about that. Which is their other show.
So, and there's even Easter eggs in the Dragon Prince for Avatar, but maybe that was their inroad to Netflix for the Avatar live series. So, if you're like me, if you're concerned that why does this need to be done? Because it's going to be a retelling of Aang's story of the cartoon. Like, why is this even necessary? I know there are, recently one of the head writers went on Twitter and was talking about how they wanted to originally to do a season 4, but when they started talking about the movie, M. Night, they wanted to nix season 4 so they could focus on the movie, the showrunners. Because they're the creators of this universe and everything. And M. Night was like, no, you focus on doing your season 4 and I'll focus on the movie. And they were like, no, it's fine. We want the movie to be good. And so they went in and they helped and gave all kinds of notes and everything, and he didn't use any of them.
Wow.
Which, I mean, by now we should know that you can't cut the creator off from its creation.
Oh,
just like when Lucasfilm kicked George Lucas out, it started to get bad. And now they've brought him back in, and it, looks promising. So, I mean, it just goes with anything. It's like you can't handle a person's creation as well as they can handle it. So bring them in, at least to
say, hey,
advise them.
Don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. Or, hey, because they're going to know the little ins and outs, because they have labored over every detail of this universe, And so the head writer was talking about how they had this plan for, I can't remember her name, the Fire Princess.
Oh, Azula?
Azula, yeah. They had this plan, this redemption arc for her over season 4, and they ended up not doing it because they decided to go do the movie or whatever. And they explored some of that in the comics. But,
boy, howdy.
Yeah. So they could potentially tell that story and more in this story, but why not just do a season 4 cartoon instead of going back and doing a reimagining or retelling of it? Because right now it's like we've had enough live action. And if it's going to be exactly what we saw, then basically we're getting Lion King that nobody really cared for. You know what I mean?
I think there were some things that they wanted to do, but they couldn't do because it was on Nickelodeon. Mm-hmm. Granted, they're all still kids, teenagers.
And the audience has matured.
And and the people who are coming back to watch it, I'm pretty sure it's still going to be for kids, but there are going to be some things in there that are for the people that watched it growing up when back in 2005. Mm-hmm. And they're... Even though, it was still there were some dark moments. Aang
that's what made it great. It's all the emotion and all that.
But I think it also is really cool because in the series, Aang deals with a lot of anxiety around what he's been charged to do. Mm-hmm. And so they have, a great opportunity to make that connection with a lot of people as well, because talking about mental disorders and things like that, there's not as much stigma around it, so they get to get an opportunity to really delve into that.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to read a statement from this was announced actually about 1 year from today. It's September 2018 is when Netflix made the announcement, and they actually said that they didn't get as much time to work on it. With the original cartoon, they had been working on it since 2001 before the trailer even came out. So they had been working 3 or 4 years before it was even announced. But now Netflix basically announced it almost right when they started working on this. So it's going to be a while. That's why we haven't heard much about it. Because it was announced in September 2018. And so they said, the showrunners they said, we're thrilled for the opportunity to helm this live action adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender. This is actually Netflix. I'm sorry. DiMartino and Kunitsko said in a release announcing. I'm just going to read it. Said in a release announcing the project, we can't wait to realize Aang's world as cinematically as we've always imagined it to be, and with a culturally appropriate, non-whitewashed cast. That was another big deal for M. Night's movie. It's a once-in-a-lifetime chance to build upon everyone's great work on the original animated series and go even deeper into the characters, story, action, and world building. Netflix is wholly dedicated to manifesting our vision for this retelling, and we're incredibly grateful to be partnering with them. So they haven't like made an official announcement of when it will air, but if you go to Netflix and you look up The Last Airbender, it says 2020. So and like the guy that leaked the stuff, he said that talk is around set that Netflix is really banking on this so that this will be their Game of Thrones. And everybody says that now.
Hold on.
This will be their
big show?
Their big show, yeah.
Because anytime somebody says their Game of Thrones, I automatically just Jamie and Cersei. Like, just work straight.
Not the bad stuff. And then Brian Knitsko posted on Twitter recently, said Mike and Brandon he posted a picture of them just walking down an alley on the studio's lot. And he said, Mike and Brandon walked between meetings from a short while back. We're moving into a new office space, transitioning into the next phase of production. Our core team is growing. We're writing, planning, and testing. Though there's plenty that's new for us in this live action process, we've been on this long roller coaster twice before, talking about the two Avatar shows. And a lot of the climbs and twists and turns feel familiar. Right now, everything seems slow, and we're itching to speed up. Before we know it, everything will be moving too fast and happening all at once. For those who are eager to see this new series and are asking if we have a trailer yet, thank you for your enthusiasm. So, no, they're not ready yet. And they haven't even made casting announcements. So, I mean, as far as production goes and all the CG that they have to do, which is basically everything, they've got to build the animals, they got to build the bending, like everything. I mean, if you saw these set pics of Fire Lord Ozai sitting on his throne, it was a green room, green stairs, green platform, actual chair, and him. It's like everything is green.
It's gonna be a task, but it's gonna be worth it.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to get it done by 2020, unless it's going to be like late 2020.
They can be late 2020. It's fine.
I mean, late 2020 in 4 episodes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, think about Game of Thrones season 8. I mean, 6 episodes took them like 2 years to pull out, you know, and like the show, I want to say the cartoon was like probably 20, 24, 32 episodes maybe.
Like each season?
Ooh, bless you.
Each season?
Yeah.
Each season was close. Some were less, some were more. I think it was a total of 54 episodes.
Yeah, so it's several episodes.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to yawn. Or she's yawning. I thought she was going to sneeze again. Sorry. But for a live action series, we expect maybe 8 to 10, maybe. Yeah. So, and if they're, from what I understand, this is going to be like an event series. And
what does that mean?
When I think of event series, I think of like the Marvel Disney Plus shows where there's no guarantee that there's going to be a season 2 or going forward. It's just going to be, hey, boom, we did this, you know? Okay. But there are people talking about like, oh yeah, this could go 6 to 8 seasons if they do half a book per season.
Oh, please
you
don't.
know, and then go on to season 4. But especially when they're talking about going deeper into the characters, deeper into the lore, and basically telling the same stories, only the ins and outs and in betweens
are a little different.
Yeah, and especially when you can do more with live action as far as like that's another thing that I have reservations about is the fact that it was a anime leaning character or cartoon.
Yeah, because it was very, like, their facial expressions were very, like...
Yeah.
How are they going to, just like Lion King, how are they going to emote that in live action? You know what I mean? That was part of the fun, is like, you know, the very, very serious parts with dragons and darkness and you know, getting into, you know, like Buddhism and all, you know, loose Buddhism.
I don't understand how it's going to be I don't understand how they're going to do it without spending billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Like, CGI is expensive.
I know how.
How?
Okay, so this is where I even thought about this. So Netflix here lately, they've been funding and then like helping getting a lot of Japanese studios off the ground that are making all these live action anime movies.
Yeah, which some of them are people are worried about that too.
Some of them are like bleh. Some of them are like really good. Like Bleach and Full Metal Alchemist, those were two really good and they were done really well.
I heard opposite about Full Metal Alchemist.
Really?
We're not getting into that. Let me finish.
The CGI Full Metal Alchemist was really good, whether you like the story or not. But and like that, I mean, then the creators, I've known they always take like notes from anime because they are giant anime nerd fans, and that's obvious in all three of the works that they have: Dragon Prince, Legend of Korra, and The Last Airbender. So I'm pretty sure they know somebody that can help them, or at least guide them to get them on the road to where
Netflix
they can do
has
this.
connections for sure.
So,
but I mean, that's still a lot of work and a lot of money. And not saying that Netflix isn't willing to do this, because apparently they're going all in on this, especially with Disney and Time Warner about to take their properties back. Netflix is really looking to bolster their original content, as if they don't already have good original content. Like, people are acting like they don't have their own stuff, but you're talking about Stranger Things, Black Mirror, like
but
all
this
the
won't
great
be
stuff.
Dubbed as a Netflix original, right?
Yeah, it will. Yeah.
How? It's not a Netflix original.
They're working in conjunction with Nickelodeon for it, but it will be a Netflix property. Like, they've got the rights. They're doing it. Like, it's their thing.
So they don't want it to fail.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is good, I guess.
Especially since like the last time they banked on something super hard, it did kind of fail. Marco Polo. Yikes. I enjoyed Marco Polo, but everybody else did not. It was good up until it got weird.
Like the OA.
Well,
another Netflix original.
I don't even. So, all right, this is super off topic real quick. The reason Marco Polo got weird, Marco Polo's main love interest, she ended up marrying a prince who was barren, and he couldn't have any children. So, like, her new now stepmother got a farmer to come in and make a baby with her unwillingly. He kind of looked like the prince, so the baby would come out looking similar.
Oh my gosh!
Then she killed the farmer, his family, and so they wouldn't tell anybody. And then after the baby was born, she couldn't live with herself, so she walked into a river and drowned herself.
Wow.
The mom or the step?
The wife, mom, not the evil stepmom, but the
Yeah, that's crazy. I know, like, my uncle lent me a Marco Polo book that was like this thick. It was like The Adventures of Marco Polo, and there were some crazy things in there, like way above my head, that I should have been looking at. Yeah.
Understandable. Yeah. So I was like, boy, howdy.
There's some weird stuff, and like his adventures to the Orient or whatever, you know.
That's what it all was.
Not supposed to say Orient or Oriental anymore. That's offensive.
Maybe met the Khan of Khans, Kublai Khan. Was his Genghis Khan?
He like truth though. He actually is the one that brought spaghetti to Italy. And pizza apparently, maybe. But
that's all he did.
Yeah, they straight up stole it.
All right.
So back to Avatar. Also, one of the originals, Jeremy Zuckerman, who did all the music for the Aang and Korra series, will be back. So it will feel and sound like an Avatar series, which is good. Like I said earlier when we were talking about the Joker, like the tone is one of the things that sells me on it. Wow, that was amazing. He went to put the cap back on, it flipped over, and it's upside down, sitting on top of the bottle.
Yep.
New challenge. So, yeah, I mean, that's my thing. Is like, I have reservations. I want to see. I know that they're the type of people that obviously they take a lot of care in doing it the right way and making sure it's this and it's that. And they do have a bad. They have just as much a bad taste in their mouths, if not more, as everyone else who saw the movie. So they were burned big time on that. And you know, fans are talking, if this goes well, maybe they could go back and do Korra or even other Avatar stories. One that that a lot of fans are clamoring for is the first Avatar, and I forget his name.
Juan.
Yeah, the first Avatar.
Juan.
Somebody even mentioned like Steven Yeun. That
he did the voice.
He did the voice. That would be amazing.
If he came back and did the character, I mean, it's not hard because it was the original Avatar was super Asian. Mm-hmm. So yeah. But go ahead.
Yeah, I want to see. Of course, I know this is probably something that they're really stringent on. I want to see accurate bending. I want to see. I don't want the CG to be half baked. You know what I mean?
I get you.
Like even like Dragon Prince, where you watching like it's a style or whatever, but even the CG looks half baked.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
We're not looking for Eye of the Tiger type stuff.
Eye of the Tiger.
Y'all don't remember that movie?
Yeah.
Where they're like flying up in the air and they're like, it was like really bad.
You're talking about like old kung fu movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where it's like they're flying up in the air, but you can see the wires and they're like,
like Power Ranger stuff.
The best.
I mean, they're the best because you get to laugh at them now, but like we're not looking for low quality. You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're expecting like legit, like, yeah.
It's gonna be something.
Yeah.
If HBO can make it look like Daenerys is riding a dragon, surely you can make a big koala-looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Koala-looking thing.
That's what he looks like to me.
Appa.
Yeah.
Appa? Oh.
Looks like a big
Sky Bison.
He looks like a big koala-looking. What's the flying thing on the Neverending Story?
Falcor.
Falcor.
Oh.
He looks like a big koala Falcor.
Mm. That was one of the things they said, that they were taking their time to make sure Appa is cute. So.
Appa is cute and has bad breath. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, lots of cabbage, lots of fun. Let's see this.
Yeah, it's gonna be the cabbage cart guy.
Yeah, every stinking episode.
But I mean, so like the one thing, this is my last thing. The one thing that gives me so much hope for this show is just the fact that even after M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender, they went back, they did The Legend of Korra, they did it really well.
It was really good.
And they even built the world even more. Like The Legend of Korra is probably better than The Last Airbender just for the fact that the stories were a tad darker. Like literally,
they did have more money to go and more freedom.
And they didn't just build a world, they built the entire universe. Like, because they went back and gave you the original lore of why the Avatar is the Avatar. And then from there, you understand everything just like a tad more deeply. Like, you knew Aang was connected to all the other Avatars, but now...
Like, they lived in the city that he established.
Yeah, but now it's like, why... They answer the question of why that is, and then it got reset because Korra lost that power. But... And then, like, it just, to me, it just did so much. And I love it.
Yeah. That's the hopeful side of this, is that it's the showrunners and they obviously understand their own creation and they understand how to put it out there. Like, if they're going to do something else, they don't say, okay, here's something completely different. We're going to give you just enough of what you love, mix something new in there that is cohesive, and they pulled it off, and it's amazing. Like, I still haven't seen all of Korra. I didn't I've seen the original series. I like when it first aired, I watched it as often as I could, and it was like one of my favorites. And it's like one of those I put on for the kids, and I was like, whoa, hey. And so then I found it like online, and I was going back and watching every episode, and I got like halfway through season 3, and I've seen like bits and pieces, not in order, the whole series, you know. And Korra was one of those that like season 1 came on, and then it just went away for a long time. And I was like, where is it? Finish the story. You know? and I never found it. But then like it popped up again, and it was like halfway through, and I was like, I want to see it from the beginning. You know, so I didn't get to finish that one. But yeah, just, oh man, it's so well done. It's so well done. So can't wait to see what they do with it, handling their own creation in a different medium.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for us. Once again, we'd like to thank you for joining us by YouTube and or podcast. And if you want to keep the conversation going or support the show, you can, of course, comment below. But you can also find that info in the episode notes or at the website at www.broken.pictures.com. And don't forget that you can also leave us a voicemail or questions that we can play on the show at www.anchor.fm. .anchor.fm/the FOMO Show, and you can talk to us that way. And YouTube viewers, please like and subscribe. Hit the little bell icon for notifications of new videos, especially now because going live, you'll get a notification when we go live and when we start. Because YouTube, the algorithm is crazy. So to even find us right now, sometimes you have. Even subscribing just isn't enough. You have to hit the notification because they're trying not to like inundate people's inboxes with notifications. Oh. And so like you literally have to go in and do the notification, the bell. Oh. And even like liking does so much. Like if you can't see to support us or financially, or if you're not able to, just hit that like button. That means so much. And that right now, that is what YouTube is looking for. So please do that. And podcast listeners, of course, hit us up with 5 stars in your podcast app. We appreciate that. And we will see you not next week, but the week after that on the 17th, FOMO Live, Tuesday at 10. This is Dylan.
And I'm Lydia.
This is Quin.